Hello, my name's Stephanie Weightman, and I'm going to show you how to use the fabulous things that you've just bought. The first thing I'm going to do is using a spray adhesive, spray my doily in a box. So I'm just getting a nice even coating of glue across the surface. I'm going to take that to work with and a piece of cardstock and move everything else out of the way. So these are my Hobbycraft metallic flakes, and a little bit with a pinch of these across my doily, and I'm just sort of spreading them out. Now a little tip for you to stop them sticking to your fingers is to just put a tiny bit of talcum powder on your hands before you get started. So I'm just spreading out the flakes to get a nice even coverage. And I'm going to use my brush to dust them down, make sure that I've covered as much as possible. Gilding flakes are fabulous to give us a metallic look and lustre to our work. And all the little pieces that will now start to come off here can all go back into the pot. So just going to really brush the edges of this. And as I'm brushing, you'll start to see that the pattern's really coming to life now. And even the texture of the doily can be seen through these beautiful gilding flakes. Just working it quite hard. If you don't have one of these sort of stipply brushes to hand, a stencil brush will work just as well. So it's the edges of the design that I'm really interested in. I can then use this for my card. So that's the effect that I'm looking for. So I'm just going to lift that up so that you can see the effect that we get when we sort of look through the detail of the design. So that's the start of what I want to be able to do. I'm just going to move my this piece of card out of the way so that I can start work again with my gilding flakes. Just tap off that excess, clean off my surface. Try not to do this with the door open because you can end up with the gilding flakes blowing everywhere. So I've got a greeting card, and I'm now going to assemble the design. And to put my doily on, I'm going to use a little bit of the spray adhesive again. So just going to do this slightly out of the way and get my doily down there. Okay, next thing I've got is the design itself, which is going to sit in the middle. But before I do anything, I'm going to add a little bit of gilding to this. So I'm going to just take my quickie glue pen and just gild a few little areas on here. So some of the little dots that are the pollen on the flower, just in the centre, a little bit on the butterfly, a few little highlights here, just following the etched design. This is a particularly nice design for gilding because you've got some nice etching pieces. I'm not doing the whole thing, I'm just literally little tiny highlights of it. And again, I'm going to take some of my flakes and move my actual card itself out of the way while I do this and dust these in. So I had some on my butterfly, few little pieces on my flower, and it's going to be quite subtle, but that's the effect that we want. So if you can just see how it's catching on the areas that I put the glue, just let you see that, and there's just that really soft light sort of little highlight that we've got there. So again, I'm just going to remove all the excess that I've got here and dust that back into my pot. And I'm ready to start assembling my design. So I've got my gilding on the doily. I've got a little bit of it on the actual topper of the card itself. And I'm now going to put some borders along the bottom. And I'm going to use my super sticky tape for this. And I'm going to gild those as well. So let's pop a little border there and just trim off the excess. And try using 2 colours of gilding flakes at once because they can look particularly nice. So Just going to lift off that panel with the waste and then take some of my Gilding Flakes again, and this time just use my finger and literally spread them into the tape. Takes just a few moments. It looks very, very effective. And the more I burnish it by rubbing it, the sort of, I can really change the colour of it, so I can get it to look more shiny or more matte, depending on how hard you rub. So there we go. That's it, really sort of polished and burnished. Then tap off the excess. So what's nice about my topper is that because the matting and layering has already been done for me, you can see that's going to make an absolutely beautiful card.